When Mrs. Juliette Monty moved to Tartosa, this sunny peninsula was barely known to its own inhabitants. The Fellini family dominated the land from their rich estate, enjoying the wealth their ancestors accumulated with hard work and dedication to guarantee prosperity for the generations to come. The Argento family lived happily isolated in their own little piece of paradise, fishing their luck in the sea every day, hoping that nature could continue sustaining them for generations to come. But what Mrs. Juliette Monty quickly realized right after moving to Tartosa was that regardless of how much money the Fellinis had and how much fish the Argentos gathered, there was one family who dominated, in all ways, the radiant, beautiful, hidden gem of Sims world. The Amore family was the real boss of Tartosa. Yes, they seemed to live so far from everyone else, yet they knew about everything that was happening around town. And Juliette learned this on her very first day living in Tartosa, when Lia Amore knocked on her door and welcomed her to the land of love, as she called it. She assured her that the Monty family was gonna fit just fine in Tartosa. Was she right? Well, many years have passed since Juliette's very first day in Tartosa, and while the waterfall never stopped working, the locals often wonder what happened to their quiet, sunny peninsula. New Sims keep coming and going, looking for places to make their dream wedding come true. They ask for accommodation, catering, music bands, and last-minute opera singers. And the funniest thing is that as the Sims' demands for wedding venues increased, these tourist requests always seem to be met. Who is signing the checks for all this landscape work? Lia Amore, of course. Some Sims see this as a total war on their peace, especially at the Fellini pretentious mansion. They can't even have a peaceful afternoon painting in their garden and enjoying the summer breeze without having a tourist asking them to rent their home for a wedding. But some other Sims have quickly understood that the direction of the wind was changing, and when they saw the first wedding cakes pop-up shop, they acted quickly. The Argento family, in fact, took a little time to act on the newfound tourism business and quickly set up their own house to become a wedding venue with the fabulous exclusive sea view. Actually, that's how they ended up becoming Juliette Monty's neighbors, moving on up to a beautiful villa right in the heart of Tartosa. But Juliette's journey in the happy land of love is navigating through tumultuous waters, as her daughter Cornelia seems to be looking for her own love story, and her husband Mercutio seems to be spending a little too much time at the Amore estate. Plus, a soon-to-be bride and a soon-to-be groom have just landed in Tartosa, and one of their faces looks oddly familiar to Juliette. So, let's break it down, shall we? Imagine you just bought your copy of The Sims 4 My Wedding Stories, and when you loaded up the map of the new world of Tartosa, all these juicy stories appeared. Wait, what? You don't have My Wedding Stories installed? I got you, boo, because if this video is making you feel like you want to explore Tartosa by yourself, I'm sure you don't want to do it at full price. That's why I'm so excited to be partnering with Instant Gaming today, because they've got all the Sims 4 packs at amazing discounts. From expansions to game packs to stuff packs and kits. Yeah, they've gotten them all. It's the perfect way to finally complete your collection without breaking the bank. And it's not just about the price, it's super easy to use. You buy your game, you get your code, you install, And boom, baby, you're back in the game, ready for drama. If you scroll down their site, you'll see their trending, bestseller, and pre-order sections. Perfect for finding your next obsession, whether you're Team Sims, Stardew, or something totally different. And it's not just PC, they've got deals across PlayStation, Xbox, and more, all right at the top of the page. With their excellent Trustpilot score and 24/7 customer service, you know you're in good hands, honey. Instant Gaming works directly with authorized resellers, so every game key is official, safe, and reliable. So babe, if you're ready to stop paying full price for your games, because we don't do that here, click the link in the description to score those gorgeous discounts and support the Drama House while you're at it. A huge thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring today's video. And now, let's jump straight back to Tartosa's map because the drama is waiting. Let's start with the Fellini family in their mansion located in the real heart of Tartosa. These Sims are true Tartosa royalty, and just like any other prestigious family in the world, they all live under the same expensive roof. When Lucio and Augusta hosted the wedding of their beloved son Marco, they were hoping this would grant them the joy of a successful lineage, and according to Marco, everything went according to plan. He married his wife Isabella, and they had 3 beautiful children, Luca, Maria, and Greta. But according to his parents, Marco could always do better. He could be a better employee at the family's company. He could be a better father to his 3 spoiled children. He could be a better son and help his mother tend the garden. He could be a better citizen and fight hard for tourism regulation initiatives. And according to his father, he could be in better shape. Sure, living with a big family can become overwhelming, especially if you are Isabella Fellini, someone who's still battling with their own mother-in-law to decide who's the real Mrs. Fellini. Augusta feels she'll always be the matriarch of the family, as she's the mother of the man who made Isabella part of the family. And Isabella bravely always disagrees. She knows how much energy and time she gave this family, and she also knows she's the mother of the youngest generation of Fellinis, so she's confident she'll be wearing the crown the longest. And the argument goes on and on and on. Some may say that's why Isabella invited her sister Carla to go live at the mansion. Maybe she was just missing her own family, or maybe she knew Carla's presence would become old Augusta's worst nightmare, as if the flock of love tourists who invade Tartosa every day wasn't enough. Anyways, Carla's presence is starting to look like a real issue to Augusta, who simply can't stand her. Lucio Fellini, however, isn't siding with his wife on this one, as the arrival of Carla to the villa seems to have given him some unexpected satisfaction. Meanwhile, has anybody seen young Luca Fellini? He's probably down at the beach, partying hard with some tourists he'll never see again. You could ask any locals in Tartosa about the Argento family, and they would tell you those guys always find the best fish in the ocean and sell it for a decent price. You would probably then be kind of shocked about it, as you were asking them for directions to reach the Argento's wedding venue, not the local fisherman. But if that was the case, both you and the locals would be correct, because the Argento's wedding venue used to be the local fisherman house. Can you believe it? Clara and Pio Argento taught their 3 children that hard work is the most important thing, and managed to raise a trio of business-oriented creatures who adapted very quickly when their parents told them about the change of plan. The change of business plan, actually. And the family went for it and had to live on a boat for months until the business properly took off. But then, honey, The money started coming in and new possibilities came around, like a new house up in the best side of town and next to a family the Argentos were very happy to get to know, the Monty family. The youngest of the Argento clan, Paola, became especially fond of their new home since she started hanging out with her new neighbor, Cornelia Monty, a cool girl who comes from money but doesn't really act like it. Paola's brothers, however, didn't pay much attention to their new and first neighbors, as they both seemed to be focused on something or somebody else. Cesare's eyes often look for the path to the Fellini's home, while Pietro's heart seems to be locked in a different area of the map. But surely, if you ask their parents, they will tell you all their children are strictly and solely thinking about work. In fact, they often encourage them to figure out what they want to do in their lives, which career path would be the best for them, and how they intend to participate in growing the family's budget. Because there's never too much cash nor fish for the Argento family. Tired of living in the spotlight of Veronaville's most influential families, Juliette and Mercutio fell in love after one of the usual cheating scandals starring Mercutio's brother and Juliette's former boyfriend, Romeo Monty. The two young Sims sailed to Tartosa to find a quiet piece of land where their former feuding families would have never even looked for them. And in Tartosa, Juliette and Mercutio got married, bought their home, and started their family. A couple of years after their wedding, the couple welcomed their firstborn and named her after Juliette's deceased mother, Cornelia. When their baby boy arrived, the two found it fair to name him after Mercutio's deceased father, Claudio. Beautiful, smart, and rich enough to reside in the most prestigious side of Tartosa. I mean, what else could the Montys ask for? Surely they never asked for the boom of business and tourists that took over their little piece of paradise. It's not like the Montys don't appreciate their new neighbors, the Argento family. They actually seem to be getting along pretty well, especially when it comes to Cornelia and her blossoming crush on her new neighbor Paola. But shh, don't tell Juliette. She's already made it clear Cornelia won't be dating anybody until she's a young adult, and how can we blame her? Teenage love brought her a lot of heartache. Anyway, the problem the Montys have with the booming commerce in Tartosa is that Mercutio and Juliette feel their precious anonymity could be jeopardized. You see, they fled Veronaville because they were just so tired of seeing family feuds and arguments and fights, and not knowing anybody in this peninsula gave them the chance to start their family in peace. If they were ever spotted or recognized by somebody who knows their families of origin, they would be sucked back into the drama and probably even asked to go back to the mainland. That's why Juliette can't stop thinking about a couple she noticed while she was walking downtown. A man who looked extremely familiar was kissing a beautiful lady in the middle of Porto Luminoso. Juliette would love to discuss the matter with her husband, especially because the man she thinks she saw happens to be her husband's brother, Romeo. But Mercutio is very hard to talk to lately because he's actually barely staying at home. He's started spending a lot of time with Lia Amore, and Juliette can't seem to figure out why. For a former womanizer like Romeo Monty, nothing was more perfect than a house in Via Romanza, the Romance Street, to start his new life with his fiancée, Julienne Potter. Just like many other Sims, the couple made it to Tartosa to have a look at wedding venues, but ended up loving the place and never really made it back home. Yes, of course, this Romeo Monty is the same Romeo Monty who Juliette Monty spotted at Porto Luminoso, but he doesn't know anybody saw him because he was probably checking out some girl who's not his fiancée. Because here's the thing, Romeo has no clue of his brother's new address and is not really planning for a family reunion. After all, his own brother ran away with his very first love, and Romeo has been busy thinking about other stuff. Mercutio and Juliette haven't really been on his radar for many years now. After a life of pleasure and romance, Romeo found himself the perfect match. Juliette saw him for who he really was and accepted and loved him unconditionally. Giving up his life of excess was the minimum he could do to keep Juliette in his life. One must wonder how things would go if Romeo found out his estranged brother and his very first ex-girlfriend also live in Tartosa. Family drama and old resentment might clear out the love cloud Romeo has been living in for a while now. And if that happened, do you think he'd make it to the altar? The person who invented the phrase "mother knows best" probably created it after meeting Madre Amore, the matriarch of her family and honestly, the matriarch of Tartosa. From her isolated house behind the now famously Simstagrammed Tartosa waterfall, Madre has been plotting her success since the day she moved in. Sure, back then she was traveling solo, but the addition of her three daughters, Leah, Lucia, and Ella, just made the scale of the game much bigger. Because if at first Madre wanted success merely for her, she then started pursuing it on behalf of her daughters as well. And we can all agree the three girls are following their mother's footsteps, especially Leah, who was a valuable player in the transformation of Tartosa into a wedding tourism destination. And she's very proud of the results her family achieved by bringing more Sims to the peninsula and charging them to enter, to plan, to sleep, to eat. Any extra charges and fees for attractions in Tartosa, they all go to these ladies' pockets, and they love it. But it is true that Leah, Lucia, and Ella would all like to pay homage to the love-inducing reputation of Tartosa by hosting their own wedding parties and cutting their own wedding cakes, while the middle child, Lucia, is still trying to find her way in this world while hoping to one day be really noticed by the business tycoon, strict mother that she has. Leah has been spotted at different areas of Tartosa, accompanied by a very married Mercutio Monty. Nobody knows what those two are doing together, but what everybody does know is that young Ella might have to plan more than just a wedding very soon, because some of the locals could swear they noticed she might be eating for two. So, what do you think? Will Romeo Monty find out about his estranged family in Tartosa? Will the Fellini household survive their disagreements or make them more obvious? Are there wedding bells ringing for any of the Amore sisters? And also, what's the next generation up to? There seems to be a lot of secrets and liaisons between some of these Sims. Look at Cornelia Monty and Paola Argento. That's some true teenage love, the exact teenage love Juliette had warned her daughter about. And Luca Fellini, I wonder what happened to him down at the beach. And I wonder if Cesare Argento knows. Damn, these Argento kids are real troublemakers. I heard one of them might become a dad soon. If you need to know all these Sims secrets and more about their stories, or if you simply want to go there and ignite the absolute chaos in this save file, feel free to download it, my friend. I'm gonna add it as a pinned comment down below. Adding it to your game will be super easy and you'll find a step-by-step guide in the folder. But be warned, you'll need the My Wedding Stories game pack to play in Tartosa, so if you want to get it right now and snatch a great discount, make sure you click the link in this video description and shop on Instant Gaming while also supporting the channel. Let me know if you enjoyed this lore overhaul on Tartosa, and if you'd like to see more videos like this one, please join me here at the Drama House by hitting the subscribe button. You'll access new videos every week and live gaming on Mondays and Thursdays. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. My name is Lady Drama and I hope I'll see you very soon.